to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Well, it's good to have you back on my show. But last time you were here, your store was a different name, right?
It was Party something with the, city something, yeah.
I was going to tell us what happened.
Well, I went back to independent. We were independent for 18 years, and then in 2007, I went and to franchising, kind of own my own markets, and found things were different. And then recently, I found a way to part amicably, and as of August, now we're back to Party Works.
Well, they were going under as a company, right? Like it's not really,
well, they were reorganizing.
Okay.
You know, it's like big money, $1 billion deal. So they're back up and running, and yeah, I'm on my own.
And now it's like, because it is your place, it's a little more fun. Now you can have more things you want to have in there, sell more fun stuff.
Yes, we know our local people, and I know there's not as much variety because they work on a mega scale and I work on micro. I know my area and they work on nationwide. So I can bring more things that will be more fun, and especially Halloween. Halloween grew my business.
So what are some of the things that you're going to add that like customers were asking for that you couldn't do when you were Party City that now Party Works can offer?
Well, one of the first things I could think of, like gag gifts.
Oh, I love that.
Like joke novelties, bachelorette items, like things that, they weren't carrying.
All the fun stuff.
Fun stuff, yes. Balloons were like these balloons here. We don't really have a higher end brand, but we're bringing in some brand from Italy.
Oh, nice.
They have all the fashion colors, and the balloon decorators will be able to use it. And then Halloween. They've done something different with Halloween, and I feel like I know Halloween, and I gave it up for 16 years, and now I'm going to bring it back and buy all the stuff myself again and have fun with picking everything out and having a better selection and better prices.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, because I went over there, bought a costume, it wasn't bad at all, and then you have like a bigger variety, you said?
Well, right now we're still with the old mix.
There's a transition.
We're like going out of it, but we had to buy in January and then commit to it. So because of the leaving, we were able to stick around with the product mix, but then next year everything will be on our own. So
right now there's some good deals going on all through before Halloween. I can't believe like all the sales. There's a buy one get one free, and then you said every week it's different.
Yes, I want to be promotional oriented and bring people in the door, bring in traffic. So right now we have buy one costume get one 50% off. Buy one tombstone, get one free, the $9 ones. And our fog machines are only $29.99, usually $50. And I can't remember the rest, but skeletons. We have these 5-foot skeletons. We have tons of them, and we're selling those buy one, get one free. They're $60, so for $60 you get two nice, they articulate, they're really good quality.
I know everyone's decorating for Halloween. Halloween used to be one of those things like you were only decorating if you had a party, but now everyone's house has to be pimped out for Halloween. Yeah,
it's kind of an adult holiday, guys, and families like to.
So now they can come to you for a lot of the outside.
I'm hoping, yeah. I mean, I'll be having more neat stuff next year. I'm going to go with more variety and again, decent pricing.
No, we love that. Everyone loves decent pricing. So right now we have how many locations? We have a Clovis, a Fresno, a Visalia.
Yes, Visalia, that's the oldest one. It's been around since 1985. We relocated in 2000. Clovis has been since 97. We just moved it last June.
I know, I love it. It's right on Clovis and Shaw.
Clovis and Shaw over by Marshall's and Planet Fitness, and it's huge. It was an old Smart and Final. And then we still have the one at River Park. That's been there since 2001. That's kind of our busiest one. And then West Shaw and Blythe is the last one.
Oh, okay. So
by Winco.
So there's actually 4, okay.
Yeah, and then I used to have Bakersfield, but when I made the switch, then I had to give it up. They had a franchise down there already.
So you had some celebrities here doing some signings lately. What was up with that?
Yeah, it was kind of last minute. I was doing promotions before I left, and so I inquired with a couple of them that I used to use, and they weren't available because it was so late. We brought in Dave Sheridan. He was Doofy in the Scary Movie, like the "What's up" guy. And, and he's done other stuff as well. But that was his big one. And then we had Felissa Rose, and she was in Sleepaway Camp. And then I think she said she's been over 100 different movies.
That's so good. And they had a great time.
Yeah, they came together and they did autographs for people and took pictures. And I was pretty surprised for last minute getting that many people in the store.
It was packed. And then are you going to do more stuff like that in the future? Because that seemed like that was fun and people liked it.
Yeah, so I have enough time now. I can pre-plan and I'll bring in, I was talking to a guy who did Leatherface. He was with me years ago, R.A. Mihailoff. He actually came to town maybe 18, 20 years ago, and he was on Ray Appleton. He met Kopi. He's Macedonian and Kopi's Greek, and they're near each other. So I'll probably have him come back and looking for more and more scary guy to go with him. And then another weekend I might bring back Dave and Felissa as well and do more of it in end of September into October.
So we need to follow you for, so it's Party Works like Central Valley that we follow to find out when people are coming and what's going on in the sales. Are you really good on social media like that at telling us what's happening?
Yeah, we have social media, but it's going to take a while to build it back up because when I left, there was really no social media. We're talking 2007.
Right. So where do we go to look for light to keep up with it? Do we follow your personal Instagram? Do you follow Party Works Instagram?
I think Do Your Party a Favor, like the words together. Do Your Party a Favor. There's Party-Works, Party Works California. You can, if you look it up, you'll find it. We've got a new logo, new look, new branding.
And then we can keep up about what sales are going on and what's happening.
Instagram, Facebook. We also have a website, but it's not for shopping yet, but it will be soon. It's going to take a little bit of work there, but you go to party-works.com, and then we have, if you sign up, you can get a coupon right now and save some money on Halloween, and that way we can get you on our list.
So we all have to go to the website to get a discount for Halloween. So that's at the actual Party Works website.
Yeah, party-works.com.
Party-works.com.
Hyphen. Yep. No underscore.
So I'll go to it for the free stuff. I mean, my audience, we all like free stuff, right?
Free, yeah. I don't know about free, but yeah.
Oh, I mean, discount stuff. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Coupon, yeah.
Coupon.
It's like, right now we have 25% off any one item. So you want to buy a $500
we want to buy the
animated prop, you'll get it for $375. It'll be 25% off.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so I have a big question to ask for you that like kind of is in my element. I'm big in the cosplay world. Like,
heard about that.
So can we put in requests? Like, we want to get like some cool cosplay costumes. I mean, this is like separate from like the Halloween stuff.
Sure.
So how are you going to work with us on that, on the cosplay community? Do we take requests? Can we,
if you contact me, go to the website, and I think I get all the emails that if anybody requests information.
Okay, because we want to get some stuff, and then we want to know what you have.
I can meet and show you the suppliers that I have and get you what you're looking for, a higher end, not the, $50 to $100 costume thing, but something nice and dress up. And then still get like a lot of the props from, that you offer and everything too. Because it's like, that's a place to kind of come in. I think people forget this isn't just like year round, you have stuff. Yeah, actually, I've reset the store. So if you come in the store, there's like this big seasonal aisle, but the next aisle is the second aisle, and it's going to be a year round costume shop. So we set up so that we do it through Halloween and we won't have to move it. We'll just leave it there and we'll just fill it back in. That's great. So you can come in for hats, wigs, makeup, different themes like 20s parties, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, decades. Yeah, because everybody has a themed birthday party now. Yeah. So you have to like have so much. Yeah. Western, Native Americans. We have different themes. Mardi Gras, you can get the masks and nice masks too. So yeah, we have a lot of neat stuff. And then you're good at taking requests, too, so for like, hey, you need more of these type of outfits for the cosplay world. Well, we could just throw it at you. Yeah, I have something year round. I'm not too familiar with it, but if it's something that is common, we could maybe bring in a set amount of items, and then somebody needs requests, they can take a look and we can find it for them. So every year there's like a new it costume or whatever, like what everyone's going for. What have you noticed yet this year that's everyone's like gravitating to? Well, there was this big movie, the Pink movie. Barbie, yeah. So that's kind of hard to get, but there's the pink Barbie in the box costume.
Nice.
So I just accessed more today, so there's more coming next week, and we'll be pretty well in stock. But Barbie Ken, I think, that's always been a big deal. It's like, I'm not a Barbie or Ken look in person, but they can say, hey, I'm Barbie and a Ken now. So
I could see you going as Ken this year.
yeah, I need a wig for that one. Yeah.
And then how good are your employees? I know it's like it's above and beyond the job, but if people come in and they don't have a lot of direction, I think, I want to be this, I don't know. Are they good at helping people out with like, why don't you try
I'm hoping
this?
they are. I mean, we have a lot of people that have been around a long time.
Okay.
The managers at 3 out of the 4 stores have been around probably at least a decade. So, and then they have a crew that they develop, and they try to train everybody.
I know it's above and beyond. I was just wondering, because there's a lot of people that were really just clueless, and we want to know what.
Yeah, I mean, during Halloween, we really pushed that we have a lot of temp people, newer people, so we give them the basics, and if they don't know something, we have radios. We say, do not answer a question that you don't know. Ask for help. And so we'll have a radio, and then somebody can come and help the customer and answer the question properly. Instead of saying, no, we don't have it, we probably have it, they just don't know.
And then this is like, because it's all year round, so it's always party favors for every occasion, from like little kids' birthdays to like.
To 100. We have stuff that says 100 on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have everything you can think of, every party, any holiday, and we sell it all year round. Candy.
And then are you guys good if you don't have it at that store, that they call the other store and see? Because if someone's having a big party, they might clean up house on some of your supplies.
Being convenient with the 3 within probably 7 miles of each other up here. We can sometimes, if we don't have that item or low, we'll bring it from one store to the other. We drive up a couple days a week.
And what goes on around Christmas? What do you guys do for that?
It's not a really big holiday for us. It's one of those, we could close the whole month of December, just open up 2 days after Christmas, because the day after and the day after that, usually everybody's hitting the mall. All the was it the Black Sunday or the day
Friday,
after? The kind of after thing,
yeah.
So,
because you do parties, and a lot of people do holiday parties. Not holiday parties is a big thing.
We do mostly New Year's, and it's big, but it's like 5 days. It's like really packed. Everybody comes in last minute New Year's, yeah. So, but this year, if I can put it together, I'm going to put in Professor Toy at Party Works. We're going to have a good section of toys.
Oh, that's right.
Stuff.
Yeah. So to our viewers that don't know, you also own Professor Toys.
Yeah.
So that's big on Christmas.
That does well. We do free gift wrapping. People love it. Only if they buy it there. Not we're going to do everybody.
I love it. Nobody does that anymore, the gift wrapping. So that's awesome that you guys offer
good
that.
wrappers. Yeah.
That's really cool. And so, so people know it's like separate. That's a little bit on the pricey side, Professor Toys.
Yeah, but it's quality toys. It's educational.
Right. No,
learning.
it's good.
Yeah.
But Party Works is not. Just so people know. So it's a different thing. Don't go into one and be like, oh, and it's just different things. But
yeah, we may be bringing the toys and have like a big section. And then the only other things we sell during Christmas are wearables, like Santa Claus costumes, elf helpers, Santa's assistant, things like that. We sell all that.
Oh, that's at Professor Toys?
No,
or that'll be at Party Works to get that.
We have that every year. That's about the only thing we really sell pretty decent, because nobody else has that.
Oh, that's really good to know. No, I know a lot of people that dress up and do all that stuff. Okay.
And I think we have a Grinch costume too that we bred out there at the same time, yeah.
Okay, well, this is cool. So what are the hours for October? Don't you guys open a little bit later, or is it the same?
Yeah, right now it's 10 to 8. Monday through Thursday, and but starting this Friday, we're going to start going until I think 9 or 10 o'clock Friday, 9 o'clock Saturday, and 7 or 8 o'clock Sunday. I'm not exactly sure. We were talking about it. We have a manager's meeting every week, and then next week though, we're going to start expanding hours.
Well, we're going to follow you, so we're going to figure out every little sale, every little everything.
And that'll be up there. But we expand the hours during Halloween, and we'll stay open until 10 o'clock just about every day.
And then, well, when I went in there too, first of all, the store is really clean. I was surprised about that, because you have so much little knickknacks. And I've gone to some Party Cities where stuff was everywhere, so I was like, it was so clean and nice. Thanks. And they said I could return it like whenever I wanted to. It was all intact. So I love that, because I think, we don't always stick to that.
We generally take anything back anytime, but the last maybe 6-7 days, discourage it. We say, hey, make sure this is going to fit. Make sure this is what you want.
Because it's
All
just too
sales
busy.
are final. We staple in the middle of the receipt a nice orange thing that says all sales
okay.
final. But if you have an issue, we're not going to be like those other guys that they're moving out. They're like temporary or whatever. We're service oriented. We're going to want you to come back. So.
And people should wait till after the holiday season. That's like when you return stuff at the mall.
Oh my gosh,
come
yeah.
back in November.
People come in the 29th or 30th,
Yeah,
and they're
even-
standing in line for an hour.
Don't
it's
do
crazy.
it.
But we try to get everybody out faster. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
I got one of my costumes there. It was good. So
Thanks.
you said you're getting new stuff every week, so I have to come back and see.
Yeah,
what's going on.
we're short a few items. Even though you order in January, the stuff doesn't come in on time. But like I said, right now I know there's a few, but Barbie's the big one. I've got access to some more of those Barbie in a
What
box.
about wigs? I don't remember if I saw wigs or if
Oh
I
my
went in the
gosh,
wig
yeah,
section.
I have a huge wig section that's going to be year round. I think it's 16 feet.
Cool.
So
I didn't
we'll have
go in
just
that
about any
section.
kind of wig, and
Okay.
I'm not sure how we're doing on mustaches and beards and things like that. But I want to have my ideas have anything and everything that you want. You won't have to go anywhere else.
And then everyone needs to go with a friend, because if it's buy one, get one half off or whatever,
Yeah.
take your friend so that you guys can deal that out.
Or buy 2 costumes each.
Yeah, true. Okay, thank you so much for coming on my
Thank
show
you.
today.
Party works, let's go to Party Works, Party Works.
Party Works for Halloween. Visalia, Clovis, River Park, and Fresno.
Thank you for coming back on the show today.
Thank you. It's so great to be here again.
So when I met you, you had one therapy office in town in Clovis.
Yes, I did. I had one, and now I have 3.
That is so crazy. This is like in a year's time, you just tripled it.
Yeah. So I opened 2 more offices this year. I opened up at my Visalia building earlier in the year, and then in June I opened up at Cedar and Alluvial.
So tell us about Visalia. You've been on that for a while. You're doing a lot of demo work in there.
Yes. So I bought a 108-year-old or 118-year-old building and completely renovated it from top to bottom, and discovered these beautiful old wood floors in there, and raised the ceilings, took off the old T-bar. It was very 80s, and now it's been restored, and it's just such a stunningly beautiful building. And I've had comments with people that have come in, and just going in that atmosphere feels transformative to them. It's just with nice art and good vintage decor that really goes with the building. And so,
Is it the vision you had in mind? Because that's a lot. I can't even imagine seeing something and then having this vision. Is it?
it evolved over time.
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted to change it, but then as things were revealed in the layers of, taking away old stuff, then oh, look at these ceilings are higher, and oh, look at the beautiful wood floor. So it kind of evolved over time.
So it's even better than you imagined.
It's way better than I imagined.
That's so
it's
cool.
Really lovely. And so, but it was a year and a half, and way over budget and things like that, but it's really worth it. The people who come in there are just so happy with the atmosphere, and I've had a lot of good comments about it.
That's so cool. So how long were you in Clovis before you started doing all of that? You've been in Clovis
I opened in Clovis in 2012 and really got going in there in 2013. And so it's just been the flagship office.
It was crowded because you just had so much. You had to build
we
other
were
places.
so crowded earlier this year, and just have a really good sized staff, and the staff keeps growing.
Right.
And so even in Fresno and Clovis, I just had to open up in Fresno.
You had to.
Absolutely had to.
I've been
I had
there,
no
so
choice.
you had to, because it was like too many people.
Too many people, and yeah.
It's good when there's that demand. People wanted to see you. And
Yeah, and it was really fun, though, to work in a crowded office, because there's just a lot of interaction with the other people that work there, and that's just a lot of fun. But we needed way more space, and so we've got that going in Fresno, and that office is developing, and we're enjoying being in that space too. So each location is just very different looking as well. So Clovis is very mid-century modern 50s building, and then Fresno is very modern, and then the old building in Visalia that's been updated. So all of them look really nice, and we just have a really wonderful staff. You know, that between all of us we can take care of all kinds of different people. And one of the major things that we're doing different this year is a lot of community outreach. And so we're showing up at a lot of events, letting people know who we are. What's Mind Divers? That sounds so interesting. And so we tell them what Mind Divers is and how that came into existence.
Okay, you gotta say, I think we talked a little bit about it last time. We gotta talk about the name Mind Divers.
Well, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm also a scuba instructor, and so having a nice chat with Mr. Rob Fox over dinner one night, we came up with that name. And it makes sense to everybody who knows me.
Right.
And then I hear comments about it. That sounds like a really neat place to go, because it doesn't sound so clinic-y, like Fresno Mental Health Clinic or something like that. It's Mind Divers. It's like, let's go on an adventure.
We dive in our minds, right? Yeah.
Yes, we dive in, and it goes along with that modern saying, let's go on a deep dive.
Right.
To look into something. And so it's a lot of fun. And so we try to keep the atmosphere fun and interesting, and but very serious. We take care of a lot of people, and we're really trying to grow and do so much more. For example, we also have our nonprofit growing, and that's Mind Cure. And under Mind Cure, we hire all of our students and interns. They're under the umbrella of that. And so that allows us to be a training institution as well.
And another transition you guys had is opening up to more insurances. I think back when you were here, you were just starting something now you were open to many insurance. There's most people can be insured.
Yeah,
you take most insurances.
We've always taken most insurances, but we're really finding more. We're lifting up stones and
more,
trying to find even more obscure insurances that people
because that's
may
a
have.
big issue. A lot of times a lot of people won't even take it. I know I was doing EMDR therapy for a little bit somewhere, and they weren't even taking insurance, and it was really out of budget.
Yeah.
People can only go so long if you're going to have to pay out of pocket 100% every time.
Yes, and a lot of therapists won't even take insurance.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
And I don't understand it because the people in the Valley need therapists that take their insurance, in my opinion.
Right.
Because this is a very working class. Everybody needs to use their insurance benefits. And so we take all of the Blue Cross, Blue Shield, but also Medi-Cal and Calviva. There's a huge need for therapists that take that.
And that was newer that you guys got onto that, right? Within the last couple of years?
We've been on
Always?
it for a long time, and we were probably one of the first ones to start taking that. But during the pandemic, it became essential that we take that. And,
because
we're very happy to do that. We always try to be able to take new patients and just really work on serving the community. We also take care of a lot of veterans. I'm a veteran from the United States Army, and I absolutely adore veterans and want to be able to help them and their families as well.
And that's really good that you say that about their families as well, because we do a lot with veterans on the show, and it's like, it is something that affects the entire family. When you have a veteran in the family, it's not just, it's like, it affects the whole family. So it's good that you guys help the whole family.
Yeah. So I have a really soft spot in my heart for them, and really just try to roll out the red carpet.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I went to therapy at your spot for a while and found different therapists. That's what's really good, is that you don't just have to be with one. If you want to try different ones, you could try different ones. And you guys, the office is really generous about that.
We have close to 30 therapists that work for mine divers, and growing. So there's something for everybody, whatever age you are. Whatever condition you have, there's somebody within the 30 people that can take care of you.
There's like some, because I tell people like therapy, and they're like, why do you go to therapy? And I'm like, oh no, it's great. Like everybody should, because some people are like, well, I never go. It's like my child. And I'm like, no, but do you have a job? Are you making like job transitions? I'm like, you can go talk to someone about what's going on. And like when you're trying to digest or dissect things, just even like a career move. That therapy's for everything. It's not for just going deep
it's not
into
just
it. It's not
for
trauma.
depression, anxiety, trauma, and so forth. Therapy is for creativity. Maybe you get blocks and you're a writer and
Right.
you want to, explore your characters on a deeper level. What would these characters do? So it can be really fun and interesting, and not just for just problems. And that's the thing that I wish people knew more about, is that it can really add to your life and give you a lot of depth and breadth.
Right. No, that's very important. I was trying to explain that. I got to try to stop it. I'm like, no, it's for like this, that, and the other. A lot of times that's what's, you talk about what's going on in your life currently, and a lot of times you're going through job transitions or like at work and stuff like that. So
and I love helping young people that are in their early 20s as well, that they've tried college, maybe they've dropped out, they don't know what to do with their life, and mom and dad are encouraging them to move on, but they still don't know what to do. And I love being their cheerleader, and I probably poke them along a little harder and give them suggestions. And I've had many people that were really stuck and then end up doing really amazing things with their lives, like traveling to Iceland and becoming a paleontologist. And
it's a big deal. That's really
those
true.
kinds of things. And here they were, being stuck.
They were at Empire Records, like
being stuck working.
They were at the record shop in between. And that's a big one. And that would have been great if I had had that in my early 20s. I think therapy wasn't even what it is now. Was not back then. It was not accessible. And insurances were taking it everywhere. You know what I mean?
And that is one of the things that the pandemic caused, is everybody talks about going to therapy now, and everybody does, and so it's sort of lost that negative vibe that comes with it. And it's everybody does it, and so.
Well, what's funny when you say about the pandemic, a lot of people that have come on my show and businesses, including the girl that makes these balloons, actually, a lot of these businesses were created during COVID. That's when they had all these transitions where they completely changed what they were doing for a living in their life and everything. So yeah, I would think a lot of people would have flocked to therapy just to talk about all the transitions in their life.
They did. New jobs, having to, not having daycare anymore, having kids 100% of the time, and they weren't used to it. And then a lot of the poor kids, they lost their whole social lives, and so it's been very difficult on teenagers.
Did you guys see a lot of kids during that?
A lot, and
that is so good.
There's still the ramifications from COVID for kids, and so we have a huge bunch of our staff is seeing kids all over the place.
I'm so glad that parents are doing that, taking their kids to therapy. And I saw, I was a nanny, so I saw this kid that just was so intelligent, acting out because, he wasn't around kids this whole time. I kept telling the parents, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm like, no, I feel so bad for this kid. He should be in school. He should be sociable. So, wow, how was that when you guys were doing that, even via Zoom and stuff?
Well, I worked through the whole pandemic. I went to the office every day, and some people wanted Zoom, but I was always there and available. I can't stay home and see.
And some people do phone calls, not even Zoom.
But we do a lot of Zoom, phone calls, different therapists, some of them like to do Zoom from home, but we always have an office available to go to, which I think is good for people after the pandemic. Staying home, they've done that too long, and they kind of have this Stockholm syndrome. They're just they're home all the time, and they don't feel safe to leave, and so there's a lot more of that kind of anxiety going on. And so I always encourage people to come into the office. And
but it's good you have options. I have a friend that I guess she just calls in to you guys, and then you guys help her that way.
Oh,
she doesn't even do Zoom. She just lets the phone. I said, really? Because I would never even know that was a thing that's offered. So it's cool that there's so many different choices. People like choices.
Yeah. So, and people run into me all the time, and it's like, oh, I've been to your office. Oh, okay. I don't even know, because there's so many people that work there, and I'm like, okay, that's great.
So Visalia, there's going to be a grand opening? Tell us about that.
Yes, so November 3rd, we're having a grand opening, and we're inviting a lot of people, and, people are welcome to come, and I am using it as also a launch to kind of talk about Mind Cure, which is probably going to end up being a bigger deal in Visalia, because there's a huge need in the population, especially for bilingual therapists over there. And so I've hired on a number of interns, and we're expanding that section over there. But we're hiring therapists, social workers, and we have a really great place for them to work over there. And we're doing, like I said earlier, a lot more community outreach. So every kind of event. We just did the Hispanic Heritage Month event, and this coming weekend we're representing at the Pride at the Rawhide Stadium in Visalia.
Oh, and then, cool.
Then we're going to be in the parade for the veterans and have a booth for that event as well. And just letting people know we're available. We can make appointments for people, and we go out of our way to get people in sooner than later. And so, everybody's welcome.
That is so cool, and I'm really glad that you guys are reaching out to these other communities that probably don't know.
Yeah, they don't know, because everyone complains that they can't get into a therapist, and I'm saying, hello, we're here. We can take care of you.
And for some of these people for free, and their insurance will completely cover it.
It does.
So it's like they don't know that.
Insurance is fabulous. It really helps people out. And also we're hiring social workers that can help people get on insurance, and if they don't know, and so there may be people in the homeless community, for example, that doesn't have social workers and they don't have any benefits. And so we're developing that section of Mind Divers as well, so that we can help people get on insurance and get them set up with therapists, doctors, and
that's going above and beyond.
Way above and beyond. And so that's a developing part of the practice, and there will be more on that in the future. And so there's a lot of ideas. Another interesting one is with Mind Cure. And we see a lot of students, and they end up, a lot of them like to do child therapy, and I never paid much attention to having very many toys for toy therapy. So I'm partnering with Professor Toy, to get some toys.
Oh, that's smart.
Donated, and so I'm looking for opportunities like that as well to, work with the community and share resources, and, offer interesting emotional toys and things like that for the kids. And
No, I think this is so smart. And I actually, a couple of months ago, I had this young woman, Desi Akunis. She was sitting right where you were sitting, and she does a lot for mental health awareness. Her parents are going through divorce. Her father ended up coming home one day, shooting her brother, his wife, then himself. And so she goes around, pretty much talking about it. And she's a Hispanic girl. We talk about, like, in these communities like that, how there's so much, like, mental health and there's problems that we don't talk about. And no one ever thought, her dad was, like, really good in the community. I think he was a bus driver, actually, and no one saw this coming, that behavior coming out of him. And it's just like, we talk about that if we had had the resources or gone to therapy and done these type of things, of all the preventative work, it would not have gotten to that point. So I think, what you do is so important. And now that you're reaching out to other communities that might not understand the importance, I think that's really good that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I bet you hear a lot of that stories like that too in your line of work, of a lot of...
Well, we're starting to, since we're just really, in the last 2 years we've done some outreach, but we're doing it even more now. And people are very thankful. And we're very outgoing when we're at these events, handing out stickers and handing out things. Here, you need a sticker. Here, have some beads. And then the people really respond well to that by us going to them and just being friendly and introducing ourselves. And otherwise, they may be too shy to come up and talk to us. So we're just friendly. Here, have a sticker.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then people can just call into these offices and say, hey, I live in Visalia, blah, blah, blah. Do you have somebody available these type of days? Or I need a bilingual therapist, and you guys link them up. Is that how it works?
Yes. So we have such a good variety of therapists that we can pretty much find someone for everybody. And, just have to, and if that person isn't in, say, the Visalia office and they need Visalia, then maybe they can do a Zoom appointment with a Clovis therapist. So with all the therapists in all the locations, all of them are available.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's been really helpful for a lot of people.
And then when we go, we also get a lot of information when we go November 3rd. What's the time frame for that?
Oh, November 3rd, it's from 4 to 7 p.m. There will be food and drinks and things. And
I can't wait to see this building in the flesh. To see what you did with it.
I'm very proud of it. It's like I handpicked all this vintage stuff, so it was such a fun art project for me too, to get to pull it together and use my art classes that I took in college when I was an art major, and and so it's just I still get to use that stuff, and it was just a fun project. I'm glad it's done, though. I'm tired of construction. But it's, I can't wait. I can't wait to show it to you.
What about the Fresno office? Are you guys going to do a grand opening in Fresno?
We will, but probably after the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a break after all these events.
You have your hands full.
Yeah.
And then what's going on with Clovis? You're still going to keep that location that you guys are in right now?
Yes, we're going to keep Clovis. It's just our flagship office that's just everybody loves going to Old Town Clovis, and it's just in a nice corner, and a lot of people don't even realize it's there because it's like on First and Pulaski, and there's an office building on First and Pulaski. Yes, it's like just incognito, and we have a big parking lot, and people just love coming down there because then they can go into Old Town and go shopping and so forth. So it's a great location.
Well, that is so awesome. We could say too, where do you post all this stuff? Like, how can we know when everything's happening? Is it? Do we have a Mind Divers Instagram, Facebook?
We do. There's minddivers.com, and we also have Instagram and Facebook.
What are kinds of things that you guys post besides when the grand opening, when you guys are opening an office? What are some of the things or when you're going to be at a outreach event? Do you post that as well?
Yes, we're posting outreach events and also the profiles of some of the therapists so people can get to know them.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
And so events, and we also are posting events on Google and Google Maps, and so those are easy to find if you type in Mind Divers, Clovis, or Fresno. And we're continuing to develop the social media aspect. There will be a lot more changes in the next few weeks on that end too. So it'll be greatly improved.
Oh, you have other people working on it?
I've got a team of people working.
Thank God it's not you. I know how good you are with social media.
Yeah.
You're busy. Okay, I have an odd question. What if your clients ever want to go scuba diving with you? Will you teach them how to scuba dive?
Well, I have to be careful with mixing that business. There's ethical things involved, and if they just happen to show up at the same scuba diving thing, it would be okay if they approach me and ask me questions, and I'm going to be friendly, of course, and everything. But we just have to be careful with mixing.
Yeah,
the two,
no, I understand. But that'd be kind of interesting and take it out of the office.
But it would work well because a lot of people have a great deal of anxiety when they're first learning to scuba dive because breathing in the water isn't natural. And I love teaching my friends because then I can just be very down to earth with them about it and just teach them how to breathe. But so many of the concepts in scuba diving would translate very well into clinical
life. It's like the
work.
metaphors. All the metaphors are there.
They're exactly the same. And so it's all, in diving, it's all about breathing. Don't hold your breath. Holding your breath in diving at the wrong time could kill you.
Just like in life.
And so in life, it's just deep, slow breathing gets you through. And trying to keep people calm and teach them to not move around too much, just kind of glide through their world. And that's what you do in scuba diving. You don't use your hands, you just use your feet, and you just learn to just kick and cruise and look at everything slowly and just notice the beauty in small things. And when you go slow, you see things like seahorses and the intricacies of maybe a clown shrimp, little tiny creatures that you would just pass over, but if you were going fast. And so, there's a lot of parallels to life there to learn.
No, that's it. Yeah, another thing, we go too fast in this world, so if we
Yes.
slow down. So
I'm one of those too. I go way too fast, doing multiple things. But
you take your time to slow down.
I do. I like, especially when scuba diving, the only thing you can think of when you're diving is you just hearing your bubbles. And it has that kind of Darth Vader breathing sound. That's what scuba sounds like. You hear bubbles and you're breathing. And it causes you to be radically in the moment. And we really try to teach people to do that so that they're not thinking of worrying about the future or dreading what they've done in the past. It's just being
present,
totally in the moment. And so I found it's impossible for me to think about having to do this construction on the building when I'm underwater, because all I'm looking at is the coral, and I'm looking at the way it moves in the current, and then finding creatures and those really neat little worms that poke out of the sand, and that when you look at them, they duck down really quick. There's just so many little cool creatures, and I get totally nerded out.
That's why I wish that would be funny if you could take everybody to sea one day and hey, we're going to do an outpatient project.
Well, there are those kinds of projects. My buddy that owns the California Scuba, Mike Fitz.
Oh yeah,
he's been on the show too. Has a program for veterans that can learn to dive and things like that. And I've always thought that taking people and teaching them how to dive would radically shift their worldview and really help them with their anxieties, because you just have to overcome it. You don't have a choice in some kinds of ways when you're learning to dive, and you just go do it, and then you feel this amazing transformation that happens to you right away when you learn to dive. Your confidence comes up. For military people, it feels like you went on a mission. And so, it's a good treatment. And I've often thought, wow, that would be great. So it'd be fun to develop more of that kind of stuff.
Well, you never know what's next. I mean, you already tripled your business, so you never know what's next. I want everyone to know, though, about Deb, what's great about her. She really wants to help people, because that's just really what's great about you. It's like you did this because you were like, well, there's a need, and we need to get this fast enough because people want to come, and I have a lot of patients that need these, like a therapist, and so I see that you're always just working to help people, and I think that's great about you.
Well, thank you.
So everyone come November 3rd.
Yes.
What day is that?
It's a Friday. It's in Visalia.
Friday, 4 to 7, Visalia, guys. Come on out. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Yes, ma'am. How are we doing today?
We're doing great. Tell me what you do, because this is cool. You kind of just got into, you're kind of new.
Yeah, kind of new to the industry, but we're in real estate. We sell real estate. We help investors, anything new home, old home, any of the above.
Okay, so what company do you guys?
So yeah, I started at my first year with Robert Mitchell with EXP, and now I have since moved on to Western Pioneer, kind of branched off on my own. I love it. It's a little bit of a smaller brokerage, more like family, but it's amazing.
Wow, that's really cool. You like broke off and did all that.
Yeah, I kind of did it on my own now. I tried to learn from the best, got a lot of knowledge out of them, and now I'm branched off on my own, so I'm doing great.
So it's all, there's not really commercial real estate. Or
So there is commercial.
Oh, okay.
I do dabble a little bit in commercial. I'm more on the residential side as of right now, but I do dabble in commercial. I could sell anything in California, actually.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
then what have you learned like in this? Because it's a really interesting time.
It is. So when I first got in the market, it was utter craziness. I mean, there was 20, 25 offers. You were having to come out of pocket 50, 75,000 over appraisal just to even get your offer looked at. So you needed a lot of cash to come in with. It's died down a little bit. We're getting more inventory. Inventory's been the biggest problem over COVID. Specifically 2 months ago, we only had 1.4 months of inventory. And now we since have just jumped up to 2.6. I think the MLS being down there for a little bit kind of helped us get more inventory. But if you're a buyer, you have a little more options now, not so as competitive.
As it was when you started. Well, that's good. So it's getting better. And then what about the interest rates? I just hear it's a madhouse.
I know. So yeah, we got down to 2.75 when I first started. That's why all the craziness was there. We had a lot of buyers in the market. We just hit 7.5. Cal Half is actually 8% now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so the payment's a little bit different. But I always tell my first-time home buyers, this might be the market you want to be in, because as interest rates drop again, everyone with a lot of equity is going to sell their home, and they're going to come in with a lot of cash again, and it's going to kind of go to that crazy market.
So then what sells, like where, I know you can sell a house anywhere, but what are like the locations that you've been at recently?
Yeah, recently it's been a lot of Clovis, North Fresno. A lot of people like North Fresno. It's just kind of got everything in it. But there's all kinds of good pockets around Fresno, so don't limit yourself just to those areas, because I know they're a little more pricey.
And then what about a lot of new developments? Are you
New developments, yeah. So
there's so many now, right?
There's so many, and they're all over the place. The builders are really smart, so they're over when all the craziness was ending, they kind of took a halt on building. It's also because the materials were harder to get.
Oh, yeah.
But they wanted to create that supply and demand, because that's really what it comes down to.
And then how many realtors are in the Central Valley? I heard that there was like a staggering amount. So I'm like, you have a lot to compete with.
There is a lot to compete with, but actually in the last 6 months, they say statistically in the nation we lost 20% of them already. So it's kind of weeding out all the weeds, and we're still going strong.
Because you have to be like really dedicated to.
You do. You got to be willing to get in the weeds, go find your clients.
And working 24/7. That's what I really can't even imagine. You guys work Sunday night. There's no hours for you.
You can keep a strict schedule though. I always tell my clients I work half days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., which is 12 hours, but it's just like a joking way to tell them. If someone needs something at 9 o'clock though, and it's an emergency, I always will get to it. But yeah. I work half days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
No, but you kind of have to because, people just think it's all about them and what they have going on.
Yes, exactly. But it's okay, because I know it's a stressful process, especially for your first-time home buyers. So I guide their hand the whole way through.
So do you deal with rentals at all?
I don't typically deal with rentals. Now, if I have someone selling a home that wants to go to a rental, I will help out. But I don't typically work with rental properties. And
then what's the deal with credit? Do you deal with people with certain, because I know some realtors are like, they'll work on someone, they'll be like, when you're ready, they'll work with them for the whole year until their credit gets good enough to get it. How do you work with them?
Yeah, so we have other third-party companies that help them kind of get on a game plan to better their credit. There's certain things that some buyers think, hey, I need to pay this off first, and then that's going to jump my credit. It gets all weird. There's certain things you want to pay off to a certain percent and not pay off to a certain percent. So
you want to pay off everything full.
Yes,
you
exactly.
have to have that little
exactly.
Circle.
So it gets complicated. We let the credit repair guys deal with that, all that good stuff.
So tell us one of the crazy stories of your selling at home, because I had a realtor that I brought in to sell my friend's property, and he had to sell it 3 times. It actually there was an escrow problem, down to the wire, down the last few days before it was supposed to go through.
Yes.
With 2 things, and I was it was one of the craziest freak stories I've heard. So tell us your.
Yes. So my craziest story. Shoot, I actually don't have too crazy of a story, but you do always have those escrows that there's always something bad that goes wrong, or something just doesn't go right, and now you're at 60 days and you're supposed to have it closed in 15. But it's a roller coaster of events for sure. It's up down, up down. But we always get through the finish line.
So you haven't found any cursed properties where you're like, well, how am I going to get rid of this property?
There's some properties. I'm actually, okay, a crazy story, I guess. I have a client right now that we're working with. He just bought a house. They moved down here from Mariposa. And he bought the house, and he was living in the house for a little bit. They're real more spiritual, like yoga, this type of thing. And the neighbors came up to them, and they were like, do you know what happened in this property?
Oh, no.
And they were like, no, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're like, we don't want to tell you. Go search this up online. And I guess the son stabbed the mom a certain amount of times and then lit the whole house on fire, and they were not disclosed that at all. So I guess that is a pretty crazy story.
And then that was the house you sold, or that was the house
No,
you
so
got
I'm
from
trying to
somebody
help
else?
them sell it. They're going through some legal things with it right now.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
and I've heard
we're
about
trying to
this
buy a home.
happening often.
It does happen. There's certain things they try to get around rules that they just try to skim around.
So they don't want to be in it because of it, because
Yeah.
others and they believe in the juju?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, my
exactly.
goodness.
There's a lot of clients that they don't like the juju around those
Oh my
situations
God.
like that.
See, I'm all about that. So when you
Yes.
find out, I want to get a house for a good deal that has it, because I don't care about any of
Okay,
that.
okay.
So do you have any properties like that?
We might have that one coming up soon. Come
But
on.
will it be for a low price? Or
Yes,
something?
for sure. It'll be a lower price because they're actually going through. Yeah, exactly. You might be able to find a deal there, but there's one that just got listed. That the same situation happened like 31 years ago, and so it's selling at a little bit of a lower price. So that might be your in right there.
I mean, everyone just wants to buy a house at the end of the day. I mean,
Exactly. You got to have a roof over your head, right?
That is so funny. Okay, so can I ask you like a little bit of a personal question?
Of course, of course.
So you're kind of younger. And do people ever ask that when you're little? It's like, why would I go with you and I can go with someone with like 50 years of experience? What do you say to a person like that?
I say, yeah, no, 100%. I respect it all the way. Those guys that are in it for 50 years or whatever it is, they're not as hungry as me. So they're not going to go out of their way to go above and beyond because they just know the process so well. And it's real optimized. I do work with a full team as well. So it's not just me you're working with. I work with a TC, and there's certain people that I work with. And so it's a full team behind me as well. And I really don't let that distract me. It's surprising. I don't get asked a lot how old I am because I think I look a little bit older than I am. So it kind of works out in my favor there.
Or just being newer, not even so much
Yes.
that, but it's like, well, that's good that doesn't happen a lot because, and I agree with you that that would be the advantage.
Yes.
Because sometimes they're going to be like, oh, no, they won't. But if you're like, hey, I need this and that, can you do it for me? I believe that you will.
I'll be right on it. Exactly, exactly. As the older guys, they are systematic and they're not answering their phone after a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a different game.
No, that's really cool. Okay, so where can we get a hold of you? Where's like your information?
Yeah, so my information's all over the internet. Google has it, Zillow has it, but it's everywhere.
Well,
Instagram.
is there a social media thing that we can like, for like, is there
Instagram? Yeah, I use
So what's your
Instagram and Facebook are
Instagram?
my number two. I actually don't use any other social media.
Perfect.
But
That's
those are my
pretty
number
much my
two.
number.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
go-to.
I don't
So
have-
what's your Instagram?
Chase Holland. It's actually I
perfect.
just Chase Holland. You'll find me, but it's Biz Chaser, BIZ, and then Chaser. That's what I just changed my hashtag to.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
So that's
so that
that's
we can see.
one.
And then are you good at like being proactive with like what you're selling and what you have available? Do you list stuff like that or not really?
Yeah, so I list stuff and I'll post the videos. I'm not much of the just sold, just listed. I don't like to brag in a sense, and I feel like that's more of just like really generic stuff. I try to add informational stuff on there.
But would you like to know that just listed those?
I know, so you're right. Just listed, I'll go in there, I'll take a home tour video or something of that nature, so you kind of get a gist of what I just listed. But I won't just say just listed. You know, it's brand new on the market. Anytime I post a video like that, it's on the market. ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So then we are in the loop. So right now, how many properties are you working with?
So I have 2 listings that just went live. I'm signing another one tomorrow. We got one out here by Central. We got one up in Core School, and we're going to have one in the Ranchos.
So do you ever say no when people come to you and you're like, no, this is not my jam. I don't want to sell it.
There is times if you can't compare to my price and agree with me on my price,
Okay,
I'll
so
work
that'd
a
be
little
what
bit, yeah, but I put money forth to sell the property, so I'm not going to, if you're way overpriced, I'm not going to come in, and then if you're way overpriced and you're not willing to put in contract that we'll renegotiate in so many weeks, then it's not worth my time. That is actually one of my pitches. I say, either you can take me or you can take me, I'll take you, or we just don't work or something like that.
Well, what about, are there any houses that are just too, like, you're like, I just don't want to sell this house. I don't think I can sell it. Like, you just kind of like, you just don't want to mess with it.
If it's priced right, it'll always sell. So
Okay.
I'll sell anything that's priced right. That's kind of my take on it.
Even like in the hood, you'll be like, I can sell it.
Yep, I could sell it. I could sell it in the hood, anywhere, anywhere. I could sell it up the mountain, in the mountain, anywhere.
Oh, yeah, because you're doing it in Core School, too.
Yeah, anywhere around the Central Valley. I'll go as far as like a Madera, anywhere. About an hour, I would say, out is my farthest point, and then I'll start referring it out. I'm able to get people in touch with a top producing real estate agent anywhere in the nation. So.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
yeah, we have a list of the top producing real estate agents. I'll call and interview them until I find the right fit for my clients, and then I'll get them out there.
So you told us like one of our misconceptions when we're trying to buy a home is like our credit when we get paid off for us. What's another big one that you run into?
Wow, it's cash funds. A lot of people think these are good programs that they come out with, and so they think that it's a free down payment assistance or like the Dream for All
Oh,
program.
yeah, there's a lot of new ones that just came out.
There's
Okay.
a lot of new ones that people get super excited about, and they are good, but what they don't understand, for example, on the Dream for All, they're going to take 20% of your equity whenever you sell it, and it's always at a premium high interest rate. So then you're going to come in, you're thinking you're getting a good deal, and then you're at 10% instead of 8% interest, or whatever it might be. So you're really, in the long run, not getting the best deal.
Because I know one of my friends bought a home that way. It was the only way they could afford a house.
Yes, no, if it's the
was
only way.
to get that. So it was kind of like.
No, if it's the only way, it's definitely the option to go with.
But they don't really understand the long-term
Problems with it. Now, I would always suggest to read through it and see exactly what program you're getting into, and that'll help. Or your real estate agent, or it's mainly on the loan side of things.
That's what I would think.
The lender would know the ins and outs of those programs, but they always try to help them in a different route before, at least the lenders I work with, before they put them into that route.
And there's always certain homes you can do that with, right? It's not like every house that you list.
Yeah, there's certain
Areas?
price points.
Okay.
It kind of goes off price. There's certain price points.
Okay. So what was like one of the biggest properties you ever sold?
So the biggest one yet was a brand new one in Tesoro Viejos. It's actually brand new for 6 months, but they ended up selling it. I ended up doubling it, and that one was at 900.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a nice one. I enjoyed that one.
That's really cool. Okay, so we can come to you about that. At what point can we come to you about selling a house? At what point can we sit down and say that? Like if we're just like, we're in that, we don't know yet. At what
Yes.
point can we sit down with you and talk about it?
We can start whenever you're starting to think about selling. I love to just come in. I give a free home evaluation, just to kind of let you know where the market is and know what kind of game plan we could start. As soon as you think about selling, you call me up. And
What
we're
about
ready
as soon
to
as
go.
we think about buying?
As soon as you think about buying, so the first process, you can reach out to a realtor. I always will push you right back to the loan officer.
Why is I figured
Yeah,
out.
just so you know what price point. A lot of people like to go shop first, and now we're shopping in 700 or 600,000s, and then we get pre-approved for 350,000, and you get your hopes up so high, and now you don't even want to buy a house. So I always say start with the lender.
And then, I've gone, the realtor friend that's selling, I helped sell that nightmare of a house. Too.
Yes.
Then I went to from other people wanting like to rent some, and they're like, she's like, why? Because if they could rent a house, most likely they could
can buy a
one.
house.
So explain that logic,
Yeah,
that
so
mindset.
the only reason why I would suggest you to rent a house is if your credit's low. And if you need to be on that plan to get your
if we
credit
need to,
higher.
if I was like 2 years away, then
Yes,
you like rent.
yes, rent
Okay.
right now. But the way I always put it is either you're paying a 7% interest rate right now, or you're paying someone 100% interest to pay off their mortgage. So it just
That's
depends
like,
what you
yeah.
want to go. Yeah.
And then what about refi? Are you good about like telling people like putting them in that direction? Because I think a lot of people that's why they're even buying homes now on the high interest rate because they're
Yes.
going to refi it later. Is
Yes,
that something
exactly,
that-
exactly. Buy now when the market's not as hot, so you get in at the right price, and then you're not paying 50, 75,000 over, and then you just refi once those interest rates start dropping.
So right now the market is a decent price to buy homes. It's just the interest is high, correct?
The interest is high, yeah. And the only thing that will change that is if we get a lot of inventory, and that we're starting to get more inventory, but that's beneficial for your buyers as well, because now you're going into a home not competing against 5-10 offers.
Oh,
It might be-
that was crazy
It
for
was.
a few years. Is that when you jumped into it?
Yeah, it was
like
right there.
at that time, right?
This year, though, I did call on a property. It was an investment property. They had 96 offers. Just utter craziness.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That one was a crazy one.
I guess it's better than when a house can't sell at all, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, in a sense, for the buyer. If you're on the buying side, I always tell the rule of thumb. People are always looking for a good deal. It's right at 21 days where sellers are getting motivated, and they'll start giving you seller credits, or there's cool programs like 2-to-1 buy-down program where you save 2% off your first year of the interest rate and then 1%. And that's in hopes that in 2 years, 3 years, that the interest rates will drop. So there's
Okay,
cool programs. There's cool
wow.
programs out there that are helping with the high interest rates. But if you're looking for something like that, I always tell a rule of thumb is 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is something we really can go and sit down with you when we're in that point.
For
You
sure,
can
for
definitely
sure.
put us in those right.
Exactly. We just try to get you on the right roadmap for whatever situation you're in to get you to that end goal.
Is it hard to keep up with everything that changes? Because now, I mean, all those programs just like hit this year.
Yes,
now,
for
now
sure.
you're having to learn all about that.
It's important to be with a good broker that does learnings. We do learnings once a week at least, sometimes twice. But that's all given to us by a broker, Scott Hanley.
Awesome. So how much is in your team? You said it's a smaller team right now.
So yeah, our brokerage in a whole is 45 real estate agents. What's cool about my brokerage is we have 45 real estate agents and like 43 loan officers, and we're all in the same office. So if I had any question at all, there's always someone there to answer my questions. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my show, Jay Chase. And we're going to promote your Instagram and Facebook because I feel like I come and ask you a lot of information when you're ready to buy and sell.
Yeah, that's right. I appreciate it. Most definitely. Any questions I can answer, I'm always here for anyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.